Meet Dave of Delusions of Grandeur, actor, producer, and director of films like Tales of the Forgotten. He has come to assemble a team of freaks, geeks, and even worse, film nerds, to discuss films ranging from mainstream to downright crazy. There is Tammy, car enthusiast, and Dave's fiance, Dustin, reptile expert and overall horror collector, Jake, environmentalist and fine art film critic, and finally Brandon, a therapist with a love of film that can only be seen as insanity. Together under Dave's leadership, they are inside movies galore. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another exciting film journey here on Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today we are going to be going on about a choice that came from the bowels of my fiance's mind. So, Tammy,
No,
what movie did?
All I had to do was look at you and I thought of the movie.
Ha 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 ha!
Ouch! Burn!
Ha 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 ha! Funny, Dr. Jones. Funny. But in any case, why don't you tell us what movie we have you subjected us to this week?
The original Blob.
Yep. And the original Blob was filmed in 1958. Let me pull up the IMDb of this sucker. Oh. And it was directed by Urban S. Yeaworth Jr. and Russell S. Doughton Jr. So two juniors. And written by Theodore Simonson Kalinacher and Irving H. Milgate. The film stars Steve McQueen in his first starring role, Annetta, well, at least one of his earliest, if not his first. Anita Corsouts, Earl Rowe, Alan Holland, Stephen Chase, John Benson, George Carras, Lee Payton, Albert Smith, Hugh Graham, Vincent Barbie, Audrey Metcalf, Jasper Dieter, Tom Ogden, Eleanor Hammer, Pamela Curran, Ralph Rosman, and many others. But let us go in. Let's see what IMDb says about the film before we go into first impressions. An alien life form consumes everything in its path as it grows and grows. Very vague.
Yeah,
but to the point. So, Tammy, did you want to take us into first impressions then?
I don't know when I saw it the first time. Because I've seen it so many times over the years. I mean, I know I've watched it with my dad. I know I've watched it on my own. I just don't know when I watched it the very first time. But it's a classic,
That's kind of gotten some cult standing too. So, I mean, I even thinking that there is a Blob Fest that goes on every year in the United States that has gotten pretty huge.
Huge, huh?
Yeah, yeah. No pun intended. But
yeah, I liked it. I mean, I enjoy a lot of the older movies and like the old. I guess you still put classify it as a monster movie in a way, you know.
yep,
Yeah. I've always liked the older ones and stuff. I like the imagination that people had to make these movies and everything. So um it's always enjoyable to watch, you know. It's you know, and right now is the perfect time of year to be watching it. So
yep, most definitely. So,
so
is
how
that
about you, Morris?
Well, this was the first time I watched it, and I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I see that it has some sentimental value to you, Tammy, since you have known it since your childhood, from what I hear. But to me, while I do like the concept of it, the idea of it, and what it could have been, one thing that kind of bothered me while I was watching it is that the majority of screen time goes on those main characters trying to convince others that the blob is real, while the actual blob itself and scenes of it actually making an impact on the story don't really get enough screen time. We don't see enough of the blob. We see way more of people being idiots and not believing. So that's
So
kind of something.
it wasn't gory enough for you?
No, no, not gory enough. Maybe not action packed enough.
Well,
If you
that's the thing about a lot of the older monster movies. A
it
lot
was
of them
more
weren't.
about reaction,
But
and
oh,
Oh
and
yeah, but
this one was a more simpler story at the time.
but truth be told, like I said, I did like the concept of it, and I would still be open to watching remakes and sequels.
there
Well,
is.
there is one sequel and there is one remake.
Yep.
The
Well,
sequel is called Beware the Blob, and then the remake was done in the 80s. So that one's bound to be actually be more.
Or
but yeah,
what?
you have to keep in mind though, when this movie and movies of that era were made, you know, there was a lot more censorship to on things, and they um probably had to watch how much gore and how much whatever they put in them. So
And there are movies that people have tried to emulate this movie without trying to what is it uh take and redo the story, you know. So there's a short film that's part of an anthology called Chillerama that kind of emulated it,
Oh,
just a bit, and then I believe there's one that I have not watched yet by a director that I think we have watched at least one movie of that he did not too long ago called The Wad, which I'd like to check out eventually. But supposedly it was fairly trying to somewhat imitate this movie.
huh.
So there are those types of movies that are out there. But in any case, back to
okay,
you, Tammy.
do you have anything else, Morris?
Well, like I said, the concept of it was still interesting, and I think I would have enjoyed it a lot better if we actually got more scenes. So the Blob appearing in front of people and people finding ways of dealing with it and stuff. And I also liked that little dog. I wonder what happened with it at the end.
I think if I remember right, the '80s one does show it a lot more and everything, But
Oh,
it is
cool.
what it is for its time.
Ah, makes
And for
sense.
what they were able to do with small, because you could tell that they actually used like small scale models for some of these buildings and stuff. They did a lot of that kind of stuff with Godzilla movies. So in a way, this is like an American kaiju movie.
Huh, interesting. I wasn't. I didn't notice that.
Well, it's a creature that just kept getting bigger and bigger, and the way that they did so by camera angles, I thought was actually pretty darn good. For I mean, yeah, it was a gelatinous mass that just kept growing, and you didn't really see the people like inside side of it as it was melting it with its acidic shit on the inside, but you had to have a huge imagination to believe that this thing was attacking people.
Uh, I had no issue with how the blob itself was portrayed. I just wish it got more screen time.
Well, I think we all wish it would have gotten more screen time.
Yeah. Yes, nice one.
But in any case, me myself, I'm not sure when I first saw this movie, but I know that this is a favorite of mine.
Oh,
Partially because it was a movie that uh, you know was at the drive-through, and it meant a lot of things to a lot of people at that point in time. It at the time it came out for what it could do, it scared people. Believe it or not, it's the unknown that people were scared of, and no one had seen anything like this. You know, so at the time, so what movies were doing at the drive-in was something that was they were doing ahead of its time. 1958. Well, that was the end of the atomic age and the beginning of everyone of the hippie era, where everyone was exchanging love, man, love. You know,
well,
and
truth be... Oh, sorry.
I mean, the 50s. I feel was like the age of the atomic monsters, and I would have to say that some of the beginning of the UFOs between like the late 40s to late 50s. You got a huge a ton of like UFO movies and what ifs
Sci-fi.
movies, sci-fi. The age of sci-fi was beginning. You know,
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of regurgitated over time. I mean, even the first one of the first movies was put out by George Méliès, and that was that trip to the moon one, silent feature, and it had a bunch of Martians and a cigar shaped thing in the moon. Uh,
Martins.
yeah, George Méliès. A lot of his films didn't survive, but some of them did. And the trip to the moon is this one that always has the face of the moon with a rocket that's kind of hit it. And so there's always been science fiction movies and horror movies. It's just during the late 40s, early 50s to late, and maybe even into some of the 60s, you get just a smattering of like
Mm.
a lot of them are curious about the outer space ness of things, you know. But there are straight invasion movies like War of the Worlds. That one was a huge one to hit American cinemas, and that one started out as a radio program by Orson Welles, a joke, in fact, uh,
Huh.
on radio, and then eventually it became a movie. You know,
Yes.
and then you got films like Forbidden Planet and uh, the Monolith Monsters and Invasion to Mars and Flying Saucers versus whatever, you know. So you have an age of curiosity about what would happen if we met aliens, and what would happen if they came to Earth and destroyed us, or and then you got movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, where they're more friendly, or ET, you know.
Yes.
Uh, but often at times you'll see the government just straight up shoot them down, or whatnot, you know. So
Uh, yeah, that's uh, kind of annoying, especially when they portray it as a good solution.
yep. But in any case, but this one's an early one. Tammy, why don't you bring us uh into the plot? We cannot hear you if you are speaking.
Tabby,
Tammy, are you there? Oh, she's probably going to be back.
fair good enough.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot of movies in the fi era of things that are portrayed as peaceful. Some are and some aren't. This one is is a science fiction movie that basically treats it like it is a monster, and it is a monster because it just starts killing people right offhand as soon as it comes out. Of course, the farmer. Did you need another link, Tammy?
Cool.
Because you're not here. I'll send her another link.
Oops. Let's hope she didn't get eaten by the blob.
Oh, there she is again. Hello?
Hello?
I don't think we hear you, dear. No, we do not hear you.
No.
So I'll have to send you a different link.
Spudo.
Where is she? Ah, there she is. Okay. Sent you a different link. So log out. Sent you it through your Messenger. Okay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Technical issues.
Been there, done that.
I'm gonna kick her from the studio. Kick the guest.
Ouch.
All right. So yeah. I believe it begins with Steve McQueen as a character, and his name is actually Steven here. I don't. I forget exactly what his last name is. Let's see. Let me see if I
Oh,
can find that.
I think they were also calling him Steve.
Yeah, they were.
Are you saying he appears in some other movies too?
Yeah, Steve McQueen stars in many different movies. I believe he stars in The Great Escape. He stars in Bullet. Stars in The Magnificent Seven. He's definitely shown up in quite a few westerns. Let's see, but he is Steve Andrews in here, and Annetta Corsout plays Jane Martin. Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello. Finally.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, all of a sudden, I couldn't hear you guys, and then the thing like totally froze. I
Don't
couldn't get
know,
back on.
but no clue. But now you can bring us into the plot. I was starting to.
Well, I guess these two teenagers, Steve and
Jane.
are on a date, evidently.
Yep. Steve Andrews and Jane Martin.
Yep, are on a date, and they see um something fly through the sky, and it looks like it crashes. And they go to investigate while they're on their way trying to figure out where it crashed. An old farmer realizes something crashed in his field and goes looking for it.
Well, and then he goes and fucks with it too.
Can I get to that part or not?
Yep, you can.
And like most of us, we don't listen to the curiosity killed the cat thing. So of course he has to take a stick and poke at it and poke at it, and yep, he realized. Then all of a sudden he's covered in this goo. His hand is covered in this goo, and it's painful, and it won't come off. And so he's running and screaming, and the kids happen to come across him and decide to take him into town to the doctor, which they happen to catch just in time because he's leaving for a conference. But on the way, they pass these other teenagers, and these other teenagers think that they're trying to show them up because they passed them. So now they're on their heels trying to get to the doctor, because they don't know where they're going or anything that's going on. They just, oh man, they passed me up. They
And
don't.
even at this time, when teenagers were in their hot rods, if they were on the road with each other, oftentimes, guess what they would do?
Race.
Yep.
So yes, they're totally not happy that they got passed by Steve. So they get there, and the doctor takes him in right away, gives him a shot to try and get him to calm down. And when he starts to look at it, Steve tells him, "Well, now it's moved." it's not just his hand anymore, and now it's like halfway up his arm, and the doc is trying to figure out what it is, of course.
And he's asked a nurse that had left before to come back to help with the situation. But unfortunately, she gets caught in the middle of it and gets eaten.
And then
Oh no.
Steve, after trying to get rid of the other kids and almost gets in trouble with the law, um, goes back to check on the the old man and the doc, and he says he saw the doc get eaten by it, and he's trying to tell everybody this, but nobody will listen. The one officer that was decent to him and let him off
Which his name is Dave.
is Dave. Yeah, he was
Yes.
somewhat listening to him, but the others, the one is dead set against him. He thinks that all teenagers are trouble.
Yeah, and evidently he's got some military background, and he calls bullshit through most of the movie too.
And the other one kind of just does whatever Dave says in a way. The other
Yeah, and
officer.
he's got something interesting going on because he has apparently been playing chess with someone at night in another police thing.
Right, but he's not really taking sides or anything. He just kind of,
No,
if Dave says do this, he does it though.
and there's a a fourth cop that's not even there, but apparently he's like the tougher cop. That apparently the kids when they were racing, they were uh, after they were caught. They were asking Steve about who actually stopped him, and they said Dave, and they were like, "Good thing it wasn't this."
That was the one that we already talked about.
Okay, so it was that cop that they were talking
Yeah,
about. Well, I
yeah.
thought that the cops were talking about this other guy that wasn't even there yet.
No,
Okay,
there's basically just the three. I think a few other ones show up, for crowd control and stuff, but they're not really part of the three, you know.
okay,
But
Yeah.
anyways, parents get notified and this and that, and Steve's parents say that if Steve said this happened, it happened because he does, he's not prone to telling stories or lying or, his dad's basically saying he's a good kid, you know.
hmm
Um, and of
It was.
course, Jane's parents, she's a good
father.
girl, you know.
Jane's father seems like he's like the principal of the local high school,
Yeah, I think so.
which he comes in handy later on when they need what they find out actually helps kill the monster, but or
But yeah,
not kill it, but
anyways, everybody goes home, and the cops are trying to locate the doctor because he's supposed to be picking up this other doctor and going to some conference, and nobody can locate either doctor.
and there is evidence that stuff did happen at the doctor's office, but
Yeah, because it's a mess. Yeah,
they can't exactly pinpoint exactly what went on, and there's a landlordish type cleaning lady that was trying to start clean the place, and they were like, "Please don't touch anything. Thing. We may have to come back and fingerprint the place."
right.
Which evidently was something that they could do at that point in time.
So yes, everybody goes home, and Steve and Jane sneak out because they feel that they have to warn everybody, and nobody's listening to them.
Well, they need to find evidence of the creature because he swears he saw something in the window. He saw the doctor get eaten by this thing. At least very minimally is what he thought. He basically tells Jane, "Hey, this is what I saw," and she didn't see it, but he did.
But she believes him.
Yeah.
So they went to first. They go to the old man's house looking for evidence.
Well, they go and meet up with their friends before they even uh, end up
Well, no,
going to the
they're
theater.
not. No, because they're looking for evidence first, and then they got to meet up with the other ones so that they can try and help and warn people. But you know, they're the only ones that know what to kind of look for. That's why they
Yeah.
went to the old man's house first, and they find his puppy dog. So
Ah,
they
yes.
they get his puppy dog to safety with them, and they don't. They came across a piece of it, like a stone,
Okay.
and they showed it. Then they showed that to the rest of the kids, and everybody's like, "Well, how did this stone cause whatever's going on?" And they don't know. Um, but then Steve's father evidently owns the grocery store in town,
Yep. And
and
they realize that the place is actually unlocked. And he was talking about how there was this guy who normally closes down the shop, brings the carts in, and mops up the floor before he locks up. And it's really weird that the door is unlocked like this.
that's when they come across it while they're looking for him. The puppy dog sees it first and starts barking, and then they see it, you know,
Which it
and
then chases them to the back of the building, and they end up inside the freezer in the back. Now they don't notice this at first, or even connect it to anything. But once they were in the freezer, and the blob, the creature, starts to come underneath the door, but then it backs off.
because yeah, they don't realize at that moment that it doesn't like the cold, you know. So they manage to escape from there, and they try and tell um, the police that it's there.
Yep.
And of course, they don't want to listen. The one cop is like, "Yep, you guys are just trying to
Cause
cause
mischief.
trouble." Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. They end up phoning the police from a phone booth.
And they won't listen. So that's when all the kids get involved, and they start this whole big thing. They bring all the townspeople over to the store. And
Yeah, they even start up the war sirens.
yep.
So there is a little bit of comedy there, where you see the old man get his helmet, and then all of a sudden he hears the fire alarm, and he switches gears. He's like, I don't know which hat to wear.
But yes, while they're um, investigating the store, we see the Blob has moved to the movie theater. They don't know this yet, but
Well,
it comes into the projection booth,
yep, through the vents.
and yep,
Oh yeah,
and
there was also a moment when we thought the blob had eaten the dog.
Well, yeah, but the kids,
it
when they came up and met them at the store, they said that they saw the puppy on their way,
Yes, yes.
running the other direction.
and
So the
the
puppy's
puppy
fine.
didn't. Yeah. Now during all of this, when Jane snuck out of the house, she came across her little brother and told him um, she had to go take care of something that he needs to watch the house, or he needs to protect the house. And so when everybody came running to the store, the little brother came out, and he's trying to be big man. He's so cute.
Yeah, he takes his little cap gun and thinks he's going to do something to the blob. Unfortunately, no, kid. This is not this is not the kind of monster you want to go do that with. And
Yeah, because
unfortunately,
now the blob has infiltrated. This is the scene that you see all the time. Every time this movie is thought of, every time anything is ever said about this movie or it's gonna be on TV, this is the scene you always see. All the kids running out of the movie theater.
yep,
This is like the famous scene of everybody running out of the movie theater.
yep,
So it is like the most famous scene of the whole movie.
yep.
Makes sense.
And the blob. This is the most screen time you see the blob at. To be fair and honest, here and when it's covering the diner, but
Right.
you see it actually coming out of the theater doors and chasing the people.
But yeah, and the officers had gone in, and they're like, "Oh, you don't want it." The one tells you don't want to go in there, and as after he says it, it starts coming out the theater, and everybody's running, and Jane and her little brother and Steve end up inside the little diner with a waitress, and I'm thinking it's the owner.
Yep,
And for some reason, the blob decides it's going to engulf the whole diner.
yep.
So
And they're told to go into the cellar because going to try to
electrocute.
uh, they're going to try to, and while they're on the phone with Washington, uh, get the okay to zap the thing with one of the electricity lines.
Which they with the help of the kids putting the lights on it and everything. Evidently, the guy that's the very cynical cop is a sharpshooter. So he shoots the thing to make the wire come down, and it zaps it, and that's about it.
Does nothing. So right now they're sitting in peril about what to do next, and Washington doesn't know what the fuck to do. But then the owner of the diner gets the audacity to start spray once they realize that the place is on fire. It gets the extinguisher and starts to extinguish the fire, but then it evidently sprays onto the monster and backs the monster off. And Steve notices this,
Yeah,
and then he remembers what it did when they were in the freezer.
and the phone is still hanging there where they could hear each other. So he starts yelling for them to get
CO2.
CO2. So then it's a mad scramble. Everybody, anybody know if there's any CO2 tanks, and that's where Jane's father comes in. He takes the kids to the high
Because
school,
evidently there's 20 of them suckers at the high school.
which I think is funny. He can't find his keys, and he goes and gets a rock and breaks into the school in front of everybody.
And I think the kids are like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
But they instantly you see the kids come out with those, and then of course the others who were cops brought like 5 or 6 of them, and that's when they spray the shit onto to the blob, and the blob moves away from the diner, and evidently while they were on the phone with Washington, they were going to send this like crane and send it to Alaska.
though they sent the helicopter that took it to Antarctica.
Okay, yeah,
Pulled it, yes, because they figure to take it somewhere where we'll never be warm enough. It'll always be cold. You know,
Yeah.
so
And
so
of
yes, you
course,
see Jane and Steve and the little boy and the people from the diner come out. Everybody's fine, and the last thing you see is um, the blob being dropped in
And the
Antarctica.
and the end screen saying the end, and then a question mark coming up, as
as
if, or is it?
if that's not really the end.
Right.
Of course it isn't when they didn't destroy it.
Well, they couldn't. They didn't figure out a way to destroy it. They just figured out a way to uh,
Get rid of it.
get rid of it.
So yeah, it's not really a very long movie or anything either. It's just but at the time it was amusing, and like I said, that scene with them run all the kids, with everybody running out of the movie theater it's been played over and over and over and over again. And like I said, anytime you bring up anything about the blob or the blob's gonna be on TV for some reason or this, that is the scene they go to every single time.
And honestly, that part is in the trailer too. So if you've seen anything that shows like multitudes of trailers, this one has been in it too, because it's a classic. I mean, it's a classic scene where you see people running from the theater.
Oh yeah, another thing that kind of annoys me is that we never saw the puppy after it escaped the blob. Like there were some scenes where someone was telling the kid that he would end up getting a dog or something like
The
that,
movie
which
isn't
was
about the puppy. The movie is about the blob. So I don't care. I care about the blob. What happens to it and the people that were initially involved in it. Fuck the puppy.
how.
The puppy is cute, yes, and
The puppy,
as
the puppy is fine. I think you see it just slightly after they get rid of the blob. I think somebody's
You,
holding it or whatever.
yeah,
you do.
So,
I forgot that.
but
But
no, the
yeah,
puppy
there.
puppy did not get eaten.
and this movie did get the Criterion treatment too. Whether or not it got a Blu-ray release, I'm not sure on that. Pretty sure it might have, but I know I've got the Criterion copy, which might be a little bit more cleaned up on DVD, but damned if it wasn't short. And
Mine is just a basic copy, I believe.
yeah, I gave you the copy that I used to have.
I don't think I have the other two yet, though.
I have the other two myself
Uh, how come you have not joined your movie collections together yet?
because her collection is her collection and my collection is my collection. That's just how it is. Sorry, and there's no budging room there. But
Interesting.
in that scenario, she has permission to borrow anything from my collection as long as she returns it. Just like
And he can
ditto.
borrow from mine.
But it's when we are watching movies, oftentimes I don't want to go and search for them in my bins. I will just choose it from her shelving or
If I
download
have it.
if she
If
has
I
it.
My stuff's a lot more accessible, even though I have one tote in my closet, but still, it's still more accessible than his.
Yeah, because a lot of my stuff is in bins and on shelves, and at the time I don't feel like going and grabbing it.
Well, yeah, if it's on a shelf, a lot of times you will, but if it's in a bin and You got like 4 bins on top of that bin. Yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah. If I know exactly where it is, like I knew exactly where Clerks was, so I went and found it when we went and discussed it on the other channel. But
I
if I don't know where it is and it's in one of these bins, no, I'm not going to go and grab it like right offhand.
aren't you two an interesting couple?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So,
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had quite a music collection before we got together. It's like I'm not going to combine my music collection with his.
well,
That's
yeah.
my collection, you know.
I mean, although when I downsized some of my music collections, she got some of the stuff, you know, that didn't have cases or whatnot that she liked, you know. So some of my ex music ended inside of her collection because she didn't have it. But other than that, um,
Mm,
And believe it or not, we do still sometimes run across things that I have that he doesn't have every
yep.
once in a while.
And I haven't done a whole ton of collecting movies as of lately. It's been more video games that I've been collecting. So I've kind of stopped collecting movies, especially. Well, I don't have the room for many more movies.
oh
So
No,
no
we
wonder.
like it this way. You know, it's we have our own stuff because his is so extensive. You know, if I was trying to go watch a movie, like he said, trying to find it in his stuff, it's nice that I have my own collection. You know.
yep.
When you put it that way, yeah.
But to each their own. I mean, eventually, I wouldn't mind a place that I could display much of this stuff, but it is what is.
Yeah, for the
This
most
this
part,
Oh,
my you can see a majority of mine out in the living room. You know, most of mine is out here, but I have probably I would say 2 totes worth of stuff because there's one tote in the closet and then the other stuff is in that cabinet. So I would say maybe 2 totes worth of stuff is not where you can see it of mine, but the rest of mine you can see.
yeah,
So
this movie is so short. Our discussion is not that long because of it.
no,
So, which makes it a simple movie to go on about. Even if we had to push it forward to this week, at least
uh,
we knew it was going to be a short discussion as well as a short movie to watch.
yep.
true.
So at the end of everything, I think we pretty much straightforwardly talked about it. Um, what did y'all think about the production overall?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you got to look at what year it is. You know, that's why I said I give a lot to the older movies because they didn't have the computers and they didn't have everything from nowadays. So they had to use their imagination to make things. And like you said, um, looking at it now that we're adults and everything, and how movies are made nowadays, you could kind of see that they use things like you said, David, like in the Japanese Godzilla movies, hot, you know, and everything.
When they did the destruction stuff, they did it on smaller scale models of the buildings and stuff to destroy things at camera level. You know.
Right. But that's what they had to work with then, and I just give them a lot of credit because people somebody had the imagination to think of this thing, the Blob. Okay, Now, you have the imagination to think about it. Now, how do you make it in a reality? And
And s
that took more
Well,
imagination and ingenuity and everything like that. I give production a really big thumbs up because I that's why I said I like a lot of the older movies because people had to actually use their brains
yeah.
to make
Well,
things happen.
uh, I also have no issue with the production for its time. It's pretty good. I just need to say that Blob looked like it made me imagine it tasting like some cherry jello or something like that.
I never was able to watch a behind the scenes because it's not on my thing to figure out what they actually used to make the blob. I guess that would be an interesting thing is to find out what they used to make it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that might be interesting to know what they made the blob from. What did
but
they make the blob from?
it definitely looked edible, didn't it?
It was a mixture of red dyed silicon and sometimes a red painted silicon covered balloon.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
For the
expect that.
1988 remake, the special effects team used a combination of fabrics like silk bags filled with a food thickening agent called methacel to create blob quilts.
Huh,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
So, but in any case, pretty much what they use for that. Sorry, I looked it up. I cheated. But in any case, I mean, I liked the look of the monster. I might have wanted some more screen time of the blob, and I might have wanted to see the people dying in action, see the bones rolling around in the blob, and things of that nature. But this was 1958, people. This was not going to happen. Not for that audience.
Well, like I said, it doesn't bother me that we didn't get too much gore, but that we didn't get more action, like you said.
Oh, unfortunately, in this day and age, that's the thing that people want in a movie, more action. But back then, all people wanted was to fall in love and make babies. So they didn't care about the action too much. They cared more about the lip action they got during the drive-in movie.
Well, they wanted a shock or a scare or whatever, but they didn't want it really to go beyond that.
Well, yeah, they wanted to give people nightmares, but they didn't want no want to entirely terrify people so that they wouldn't go back. I mean, these are the kind of movies that most people who have brains be like, "Oh, come on, really? They're going to make us believe that a giant blob ate a bunch of people? You got to be nuts." But at the time, people didn't care. The teenagers didn't care. If they heard about this kind of movie, they were like, "Wow, gee willy," you know. There was a wonderment back then. Of course, parents were more because this was like the 1950s, where parents thought that comic books controlled their kids. You know,
And
there
the
was a
comic books were a lot more graphic than most of the movies that were out there too.
yep, and they thought that comic books and rock and roll were bad things for kids. It was a media scare that started in the churches and bled out to the brainwashed communities in the United States, where they started banning books and comic books and shit like that, just because they were so scared of what their children would do. So there was that going on during that time period as well. A bunch of stupidity, basically. I mean,
Pretty much, yeah.
it was the satanic panic,
Ah,
basically, um, which started in the 50s and even went on into the 80s. You know, right, Tammy?
Yes.
So, but in any
I
case,
I think we're all happy with the production because we give it credit where credit is due for its time and everything else. It's just
yeah.
it's a classic, and like I said, I just like the older movies because I feel like people actually used their imagination and their brains and their well, how can we make this happen?
ingenuity.
Yeah, how can we make that happen?
How can we make it somewhat believable?
Right. I mean, um like a thing I was watching the other day, and you saw it too. They were talking about Vincent Price in his movies, and they brought up
Cool.
something with the Tingler and about that in one part you can see the string. Yeah, you can see the damn string. Okay, but they had to make this. They had to make the thing move. Okay, so you can somewhat see the string in one part, but that's what they had to do. You know.
And to
Yes.
me, that's part of the charm. You know, part of the charm is seeing some of that ingenuity and that creativity come to life. I mean, okay, yeah, sometimes you can see the string on the spider or the a monster, or you can see the person underneath. But at the time,
Yeah.
up on a big screen, you don't notice that type of thing. But when you're noticing it at home, on your own television screen, it's not. It's more noticeable, and the more clarity you see to the picture, the more that you see of the ways in which they use to create the monsters and things like that. That the more that they make these transfers more clear, the more you see see a little bit of the mystery behind the magic.
Yeah, how dare they use a string instead of CGI and AI in the 50s?
Right. I mean, it's when you see movies like that. But in any
Yeah.
case,
So I guess we
um,
should go into favorite characters, favorite scene.
well, we can go into music and talk about that real quick.
Oh,
I
yeah.
suppose it's never real quick with you.
Well, let me let me just see who composed the music real quick. Ralph Carmichael composed that, and he composed music for The Box and 40 from 2009, and The 4D Man, and let's see, The Cross and the Switchblade. Let's see if there are any others that I. Okay, so before that, well, telling you, The Shadow of the Boomerang. Let's see, The Man in the Fifth Dimension. Oh, and I guess there was a TV series that Don, our friend Don, used to tell us about, called "My Mother the Car." I guess he did
Oh,
the music composed and conducted behind that. But other than that, pretty much it. And I guess that's the movie that I'm going to choose for next week too. So the box from
The box,
2009.
the box 2009.
Yep.
Oh, sci-fi thriller. It says interesting.
So let's go into favorite scenes and our favorite characters. Starting with you, Boris, since you have not seen this or hadn't seen this before.
Huh. Well, my favorite character.
It's the puppy dog.
Uh, it, okay, I did like the puppy dog a lot, but I guess I have to pick a human character.
Yes, you do.
So I guess I'd have to go with Steve.
And
Uh,
and we're not talking about the car from Disney's Cars.
yeah. My favorite scene. Well, for example, uh, uh, well, I liked the scenes where we actually did get some suspense, like when they saw the doctor getting eaten, or when they were when they got attacked by the blob in that place. What was it? Was it the diner or something where they got trapped in that room, but then the blob left?
Yeah, that was the cellar in the diner is where they got trapped.
Yeah, and
Which
of course,
which I was trying to wonder. That diner looked like it was like an it used to be an ex camper type thing, and that thing had a cellar. You know,
yeah,
to me.
They made a lot of diners, I think, back at that time out of old like buses and things like that. Um, it seemed like, and instead of just putting them on a slab because it was a diner, they made a basement for it because you have to have a place to store things, if you're going to have food.
True that.
So,
So, but yeah, that's where they ended up getting trapped in, and then after the blob moved, they were able to climb out of the window. So,
yeah,
all
and
right.
of course,
Is there
the
anything
final
else
battle,
for us?
the final battle with the blob, of course.
Okay, so the shooting of the telephone line didn't count.
uh, oh, well, wasn't that a part of the final battle?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was kind of a spoodow.
Okay. What about you, Tammy? Favorite scene or scenes and or favorite characters?
well, my favorite character was Steve. Um,
Wasn't the puppy
Steve's
dog?
secondary. It would have been
Okay.
better if it would have been better if it was a cat. But
Ah,
Fair
um,
enough.
I like Steve because he really was trying to do the right thing from the beginning. And nobody wanted. But he didn't give up. He was very persistent because he wanted to protect everybody. He was a good kid. You know, he wanted to keep everybody safe and protect everybody, and he was willing to go to like any length to make people listen to him and understand that
I
something was wrong here.
I thought it was a little bit comical when he was stopped by Dave the cop
Oh,
for
when he was racing backwards.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Indeed.
done. I haven't raced backwards. I've raced plenty of times forward, but I've never raced backwards. Huh? Interesting. But anyway, um, my favorite scene was the classic when they're all running out of the movie theater. That is, and the blobs coming out of the movie theater. So
I
that's
think
my
that's a fairly similar scene to the Tingler, where the
Oh,
Tingler comes
true.
across the screen and goes after the people in the movie theater.
yep.
Right.
But yep, on to you, Dave.
Alrighty, my favorite character, yeah, is Steve. No, it's not the puppy dog because he is not a character in the movie other than being a rescue dog. You know, and to be fair and honest, there is a scene in Killer Clowns from Outer Space where there is a farmer who has a dog who goes in and investigates things and basically fucks with whatever came and landed on his land. So
Truth be told,
to me, there are similarities. But um,
But the
I
blob's
guess
better.
I guess the dog was his name was Pooh Bear in that, and the farmer was a bit more of a character in Killer Clowns. But anyways, um, but I do enjoy that theater chasing scene when it pulls through the vents. It's like this liquidy substance that just keeps falling and getting bigger. And at
right.
one point in time, I thought, I mean, I remember it a little bit differently, but maybe I'm thinking about the '80s version more than than this one, where it looks like a fucking tongue, you know.
Uh,
But um, this was very good for its time. I like the final battle. I like the concept of it, and though I think that the acting of the cops is a little bit wooden. I think
except for
the
Dave. Dave is
Dave actually is okay, but the other cops, their acting was a little bit more wooden, like as if they didn't really want to be there. You know,
Of course, they're cops. What did you expect? A teddy bear in a car.
but I thought it was kind of interesting the look of the extinguishers because it had this like big a big thing that the cold stuff came out of, which is not like how they look these days. They've
Huh.
definitely changed in look since then. You know, they look more tubular than canister like. You know,
Interesting. I actually didn't pay attention to that.
well,
they were
I
a lot.
did a
They
little
were a
bit.
lot bigger and more hulky. You know, the fire extinguishers were then.
Yeah. So I pay attention to a little bit more detail because I've seen this movie a little bit. It used to come on a lot. So,
Makes sense.
but in
I'm
any case,
surprised I haven't seen anybody show any channels showing it right now because I always thought it was something that came on around Halloween, and I haven't seen anybody showing it.
or even on TCM, you know,
Right.
I would love for it to come on to TCM like or whatnot, or even Spenguli, you know.
Yeah, he didn't show it either.
So, well, maybe that's something that you can online request from him. You get more of an entertainment value out of Svengoolie than I do. So, but
Yep.
in any case, well, hopefully you ladies and gentlemen have enjoyed our discussion on The Blob. And if you haven't seen the movie, go out and see it. I think right now you can see it on Pluto for free. But other than that, like, share, and subscribe. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of the movie, what you thought of our discussion, and I guess we'll see you next time here on Delusions of Grandeur. Everyone, say good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Inside movies galore, just makes you just want more. We've had all in the world of media to explore. Horror, anime, or Curious George. Our love of new things was our reward. It is the best night of our week.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.